Now let's talk for a second here about deficit reduction, budget shrinking without hurting the economy. Okay, let's talk about this. I am going to present to you, there's so many different things that can and should be done, but I just want to present three that really just make sense economically that we should do. Natan, let's put up the image here which outlines my plan, if we can.
Yep, got it on.
Okay, and let's put it up also so I can see it, if we can, just so I know exactly what's going on. There we go. This is the logic and reason program, Lewis. I'm going to present to you a three-point plan. Number one, we need to increase taxes on people making over $250,000 a year from 35% top marginal tax rate to 39%. Now, what's interesting about those numbers? Number one, they are way, way, way lower than under Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
One of the biggest tax cutters, supposedly, even though he voted to increase taxes, as we know. But the meme, the Republican meme
we
is...
We can't let history and facts get in the way of the Republican agenda.
I would never dare do that, Lewis.
Yeah.
7 of Reagan's 8 years in office, the top tax rate was higher than the current 35%. In 6 of those 8 years, it was over 50%. I say let's go back to the 39% top marginal tax bracket. Remember, on your first $250K, it's not affected. It's just on the money you make above and beyond $250,000. Now, this would raise about $850 billion in a decade, okay? Fair enough. Now, what if people say, well, $250,000 still isn't that rich? I'm okay with that. You know what? I would actually say if you have a family of 4 living in New York City and you gross $250,000, it's true that you may not be swimming in money. I will entertain that for a second. Let's raise it to 43%. For people making over $500,000 a year. What about that? Okay, common sense here. We're not affecting low earners here. Number 2, just obvious. Legalize, regulate, and tax marijuana. I mean, Lewis, at this point, we know that cigarettes are so far above and beyond harmful as is marijuana. You know that I actually get really annoyed when my ex-neighbors used to be smoking in their basement and it would drift through my place. I found it annoying. I didn't like the smell. That being said, how can I logically argue that cigarettes should be legal, but marijuana should be illegal? Legalize, regulate, and tax. We're talking about $7.7 billion a year in savings because you don't have to spend money policing and prosecuting marijuana. You're talking about $6.2 billion, according to some Harvard estimates, in revenue from taxing. And this doesn't even take into consideration if we change this, we can change prison policy. And look at what would happen to the cost of incarceration if we get these people out of jail.
Yes, this is not one of your 3 points here. This isn't one that just doesn't hurt the economy. This would be an economy booster.
Absolutely.
We're talking about an industry here. I mean, there would be lots of job growth.
And what's the big elephant in the room we have to talk about? Point number 3, reduce defense spending. Let's close. I mean, look, we've got over 1,800 Army bases, about 1,000 Navy bases, about 1,800 Air Force installations, Marine facilities in the hundreds. In Italy, we have over 100 installations. Do you think we might still be safe if in Italy the U.S. only had 65 military installations?
I'd feel just as comfortable.
I would too. Let's cut that. What about in Germany? Just the Army alone has 50 bases. I'd be safe, I think, with only 25 American military bases in Germany. I really think I would.
I agree. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is... It seems to be off the table across the board.
I think it almost is. If we don't have an increase in defense spending, it's bad.
This is mind-boggling, but I think this is probably the #1 thing we need to do.
No question about it.